This romantic story begins with Talib, a kind and sweet girl in high school. One day, while in the schoolyard, she kneels in front of a tree and watches with interest a cat running cutely through the branches. Talib begs the poor animal to come down, but it seems that the cat does not have the ability to do so, and the girl cannot help him in any way. At the same moment, Tentin appears in the schoolyard, a guy Talib has not met before. Asking the girl to be quiet and covering her mouth with his finger, Tentin looks too convincing and handsome. Falling in love with him at first sight, Talib closes her eyes, hoping for a kiss, but is soon brought back to reality. Opening her eyes, she realizes that the guy saved a poor kitten. A while later, walking around the school with the cat in her backpack, Talib asks Tentin if he can take care of the animal, because it's important to her that the kitten is perfectly safe. The guy promises to take care and takes the cat with him. Upon returning home, the girl in love, happy to know Tentin, writes him romantic letters. Noticing this, her father offers his help to fold the letter neatly into an envelope, but the girl is embarrassed that he will read the contents of the letters. She asks her father to go back to work as a waiter at his restaurant and promises to call if she needs help. The next day, everyone at school is talking about a new student in their class who is not only brilliant, but also very handsome. While the girls are excited and anticipating their first meeting with the unknown guy, Talib feels lucky because she has already had a chance to get to know him. Hearing her conversation with her friends, King becomes jealous of the girl he has been in love with since childhood, but their conversation is interrupted by teachers presenting Tentin. During the introductions, most of the girls become very embarrassed and try to flirt with the guy. When it's Talib's turn, she is so nervous that she can't say more than 3 words. In turn, King gathers up his courage and declares that Tentin is not welcome here, as he would be the enemy to most guys, not deserving of so much attention from the girls. During school recess, Talib's friends talk about how all the girls at school like the new student, but they haven't seen him socializing with anyone. Given that Tentin didn't pay attention to any of the girls, they assume that the guy is of a non-traditional orientation. Hearing the false and insulting assumptions, Talib defends the guy and claims that she has already socialized with him, but the girls don't believe her. Trying to back up her words, Talib recounts the incident with the cat in the tree. Her friends react skeptically to the girl's words and offer to check if she is telling them the truth. After finding the guy, Talib asks him about the cat and what happened to it after yesterday's story. The guy takes his time to answer and takes a pause to break away from reading the book and think for a while. After looking at the schoolgirls, he gets angry and answers the question evasively, after which he shows his bad side by being rude to Talib. This shocks the girl and causes surprise among the other schoolgirls. As soon as Tentin leaves, Talib follows him to ask about the pet once more. The guy looks at her with indifference and emphasizes that he does not want to talk to her, begging her not to bother him about nothing anymore. A few days later, the couple meets in the school garden and Talib gives Tentin all those letters. The ones she's been writing to him lately. The boy takes them, but does not even thank the girl, silently going to school. A little later, in the cafeteria, the students start reading the letters of the girl who tried to seduce the guy and confess her feelings to him. Tentin purposely posted them publicly to hurt and reject the girl, making her forget about him. Seeing what's going on, King decides to stand up for the unfortunate Talib and tears the letters off the special booth. After eating a few letters so no one else will read them, King sees the tears on the girl's face and calms her down, suggesting they go elsewhere. Looking up, they spot Tentin, marveling at how he could dare do such a thing. A little later, the students go to class and King looks at Tentin with great hatred, but he is indifferent and focused only on listening to the teacher. After class, Talib and her classmates go to her father's restaurant to eat and take their minds off the problems and situation that happened today. At one point, the school children and Talib's father have to run out of the restaurant in a panic, after which a strong explosion is heard. Firefighters and journalists arrive on the scene to interview Talib's father, whose restaurant was damaged by the explosion. The journalists wonder if he has any enemies capable of such a thing, and the man answers in the affirmative. He could take revenge on the offenders, but he is not going to do it because his daughter is alive and well, and material losses do not scare him. As soon as the interview ends, the house in which the family lives collapses, because of which they no longer have a place to live. The next morning, the girl goes to the school garden to water the plants and take her mind off the terrible accident that happened the previous night. Here, she also accidentally discovers Tentin sleeping under the cactus table. Feeling guilty for waking the guy, Talib apologizes, but he says he doesn't deserve those words after what happened with her letters. At the same time, the boyfriend doesn't openly admit guilt and doesn't try to justify that he wasn't the one who published her letters declaring his love. Tentin saw yesterday's news and asks where the girl will live. She is confused by such a question and says that now they will have to live at her aunt's house for a few days. After school, Talib and her father go to her aunt's house to rest and have lunch with her. At some point, there is a knock on the door and it turns out to be Talib, the father's best friend, whom they haven't seen in years. The friend rejoices the girl's father, informing him that he saw the explosion and offers him and his daughter to live in his house. When moving into the house of the father's best friend, Talib notices a cat and calls him to her. After taking a closer look at the pet, the girl suggests that the cat looks too much like the one in the tree a few days ago. At some point, Talib hears the guy's voice behind her and, turning around, almost kisses Tentin, who was a step away from her. Startled, the girl tries to move away, but Tentin puts his arm around her so she doesn't trip and fall. Immediately afterward, Talib meets the boy's mother. She tells the girl that she is very beautiful and has changed a lot since the last time they saw each other. The woman then invites the girl to her son's room and tells her that she will live here for a while until they find a better solution. This comes as a bit of a shock to Talib, as she didn't expect that her father's best friends are Tentin's parents, and now they will have to live in the same house. In the morning, Tentin's mother invites the girl to breakfast, where she meets the boy's younger brother. The boy is so shy that he gets up and runs away from the table as soon as he sees the charming Talib in front of him. Tentin does not want to have breakfast with the girl, so he takes a sandwich and hurries to school. The mother asks her son to spare a few minutes and have breakfast together, after which he and Talib can go to school. A little later, the couple heads off to school on bicycles, but a couple blocks before their destination, the boy stops. He doesn't want anyone to know that they live in the same house, so he asks Talib to walk the remaining distance. She is understanding and doesn't worry about it, promising not to tell anyone about it. On the doorstep to school, Talib is met by King, who is concerned about where the girl lives. He visited her aunt in the evening and learned that Talib has moved, but he doesn't know where. The girl tries to avoid the topic, but her friend insists that she tell the truth. Talib admits that she moved into her father's best friend's house, but she won't admit that she lives with Tentin. The girl also lies about the housing being far away, so he and her friends won't be able to visit her. Soon friends come up and ask Talib the same question, causing her to have to explain everything again. A few days later, Talib and Tentin are riding their bikes to school when they suddenly notice a girl motorcyclist in black. She rides beside them, after which she rides off into the distance without ever revealing her identity. A little later, the school holds a math competition. As she rides up the stairs to get to the competition, Tentin hears a conversation between a teacher and a girl from another school. The biker girl from the other school realizes that there is little chance of winning the competition, but she promises to do her best to change that. When the girls notice that Tentin is joining the school team, they cheer and shout like devoted fans of a popular actor or singer. Soon the female members of the team also admit that they came here just to be near Tentin. As a result, the team takes only the second place, which makes the guy sad. He is met by Kang on the way out of the school, who thanks Tentin for not showing 100% of his intelligence and allowing her school to win the competition. The guy indifferently states that winning isn't important to him, and Kang hugs him to express her gratitude, unaware that Talib saw the whole thing while watching the pair from afar. Kang asks about who was the girl he rode his favorite bike with, but the guy avoids answering. Talib is sad, so she heads home alone, but King catches up with her on the way. He offers to ride for a while, but the girl refuses, as she is not in the mood for socializing and walking. Besides, she is afraid that King might find out that she is forced to live in Tentin's house. Upon returning home, the boy's father and parents ask the girl why she returned alone. Feeling uncomfortable, she evades the answer and hides the truth, claiming that she was delayed because of a math competition. In the evening, Tentin, on her mother's orders, becomes a math tutor for Talib. The girl does not like studying much and does not understand some topics, but Tenten does everything to make her understand all the complexities of math. The guy puts a lot of effort and gets tired trying to explain everything, as a result of which he falls asleep right at the table. Noticing this, Talib takes advantage of the transparency of the glass table and draws the guy a funny face. Showing interest in him, she not only laughs at Tenten, but also kisses him through the glass without fear of the guy waking up. A week later, King and friends still decide to follow Talib to see where she lives and why she is hiding her new home from them. After seeing that the girl lives in a luxurious mansion, the friends don't understand why she didn't tell them that she has rich relatives. Having met Tenten, the schoolboys stop and question him about where he lives and whether Talib has seen Talib nearby. The boy keeps silent, trying to hide the truth, as suddenly a car drives up to the house, from which the girl's father gets out, inviting the schoolchildren to a picnic in the yard. Having learned that Talib and Tenten live in the same house, King decides to talk to the guy and declare that the girl will not live next to him for the rest of his life. These words do not scare Tenten in any way, as he explains that their parents are best friends and they are forced to live together. At the same time, Tenten doesn't miss an opportunity to tease King by making him feel jealous. Noticing him feeding Talib from his hands, King gets angry and leaves the house. A couple days later, Talib is looking at the exam results and trying to find her name on the list. At that moment, her finger accidentally touches Tenten's finger, who is also interested in her grade. The pair gets too close again and almost kiss, which makes the girl smile, but Tenten blatantly ignores her. He actually smiles, but hides it so Talib can't see that he cares about her. A few days later, King drops Talib off at Tenten's house after a walk. Noticing that the friends are in a good mood, Tenten is rude, provoking a conflict with King. The guys start to fight, but Talib gets between them to prevent a fight. Despite this, the guys manage to meet face to face, allowing King to explain how to behave properly towards the girl. Angry, Tenten hits the guy hard in the face, after which they manage to calm down and talk. King admits that he is in love with Talib, but realizes that she does not pay attention to him, as she wants to be close to Tenten. 3 days later, King meets Talib after an exam to see if she was able to pass. The girl doesn't know the grade yet, but rushes to Tenten to thank him for his help. A couple of days later, Talib pretends to fail the test and elicits her father's sympathy, then admits that she successfully passed the exam, and it's something to celebrate. In the evening, Talib spends time with her father and Tenten's parents, but is sad that the boyfriend isn't home. His younger brother exposes Tenten hiding in his room, but his parents are in no hurry to call the guy, justifying it by his business, although they know that in reality he is just avoiding meetings with the girl. A few months later, Tenten enters college to study medicine. Talib studies with him, but for a nurse. The girl invites the guy to lunch and he accepts but doesn't look at her, devoting himself to reading a textbook. Talib picks up the book, offering to talk, but Tenten once again ignores the opportunity. The next morning, the girl hurries to her studies and meets Tenten, ready to give her a ride in his new car. Talib is surprised to see that the guy wears glasses, and he admits that he has poor eyesight. He is also aware that the girl has eye problems as well, but she is shy about wearing glasses for fear of being ugly. When the couple returns home, their parents wish them a happy birthday, as Talib and Tenten have a party on the same day. In the evening, the families have fun, after which the couple goes for a walk deep into the garden. At one point the games end and Tenten kisses the girl, but the romantic moment is spoiled by their parents finding them. The next day, Tenten's father asks the boy to come to his office for an important conversation. The man needs to know his son's plans for the future and whether he can help him in business despite his college studies. Tenten is happy to help his father, but he doesn't want to get involved in a business he doesn't know anything about, as he is only interested in medicine. The next morning, Tenten tells the girl that after studying a lot of things can change in their lives, but does not reveal the details, promising to do it a little later. A little later, the boy communicates with his mother about his feelings. The woman gives wise advice and suggests listening to the heart more than the mind. In the evening, Tenten and his father go to Talib's father's new restaurant. The parents begin to discuss the future of their children, which Tenten doesn't like very much. He realizes that the girl will graduate before he does, and they may never meet after that. Having spoiled his mood, Tenten leaves, promising his father to wait for him in the car. In the evening, The pair meet in the garden and Talib asks Tenten to explain his words and actions. Instead, the boy declares that they are not compatible and he will not be able to take care of the girl, so they are not meant to be together. Crying, Talib pushes the guy away and runs away, for her heart has been broken to pieces. A while later, Tenten goes to the girl's room to have another talk, but sees that she has packed all her things. Realizing that he was too cruel to her, the guy goes in search of the girl. Meanwhile, King continues to be Talib's best friend, but admits that he wants to kiss her. The guy hugs the girl tightly, but she asks him not to do it, otherwise they will quarrel and stop communicating. At this moment, they are noticed by Tenten, who misunderstands the whole situation and leaves without saying anything. In the evening, King escorts Talib to Tenten's house and reminds her that she can always count on him as a friend, ready to help in a difficult situation. Taking this opportunity, the girl confesses that she fell in love with Tenten from the first second, but unfortunately for her, he doesn't even like her. Realizing that she told her best friend in love with her for nothing, Talib doesn't look into King's eyes and leaves without waiting for a response from him. On the weekend, Talib meets up with her high school friends who are helping decorate her father's restaurant for a fun time in great company. Soon the girl becomes sad as Tenten, whom she hasn't spoken to in days, shows up at the restaurant. The guy apologizes for coming and says that his mother sent him here to bring a case of wine. King, trying to chase the stranger away, declares that he has prepared a romantic dinner for the girl. Showing jealousy, Tenten hurriedly leaves the restaurant, but this only spoils Talib's mood even more. Noticing this, King gives her a gift, only to see a smile on the girl's face instead of tears. In the evening, the friends and their parents have dinner at the restaurant, enjoying the pleasant company. At some point, Tenten shows up at the party and does so not alone, but with a new girl named Nana. Seeing her at the same table with the guy's parents, Talib is nervous, but calms down when he learns that Nana is his father's business assistant. Tenten's younger brother makes the girl nervous again by revealing that Nana and Tenten were a couple as children and the boy suffered greatly after they broke up. The boy assumes that Tenten and Nana will be a couple again, which upsets Talib, who runs away from the party. Noticing this, King chases after his friend and tries to calm her down. The girl thinks that everything is over because Tenten never wanted to meet her, and with the return of Nana, he will not pay attention to her. King decides not to remind her of his feelings and just supports Talib. A short while later, King, plucking up his courage, confesses his love and promises to win Talib's heart. He offers to at least pretend to be a happy couple, but the girl cannot answer anything as she is too shocked by the words of her best friend. In the evening, the girl agrees to become a couple to see if it will work out. 3 months later, King gives Talib an engagement ring and asks if she is ready to wear it. The guy declares that he can buy a more expensive and sophisticated ring in a few years, thus asking her to marry him. It is at this point that Talib notices Tenten in Nana's company and, infuriated, tells the guy that she is ready to think about his proposal and accept the ring. Joyful King embraces the girl and dances, not realizing that she never fell in love with him, responding so only because she saw Tenten with another. In the evening, the girl can't sleep, looking at her wedding ring and thinking about King's words. The father knows about the guy's intentions, so he comes to his daughter to discuss all this. It is important to him that Talib is happy, so the father asks to be guided by his own feelings, so that he never wishes about the decision. He is sure that the most important thing is love, so he asks his daughter to do the right thing. A short while later, an internship begins in college. Noticing the ring on her friend's finger, the girl asks her if she is ready to become King's wife or if she still loves Tenten. Having learned the truth, the friend does not want to interfere in Talib's personal life, but explains to her that by such an act she will break King and make him unhappy. Meanwhile, Tenten learns on another date with Nana that she will have to go to Japan for a while. Nana wants to know if there's anything between them other than friendship, but the guy is evasive. Nana insists that he make a decision, so for the next few days, Tenten is withdrawn, trying to figure out what he should do about Nana and Talib. Going for a walk, the guy tries not to think about anything, but he remembers how he offended Talib and falls off his bike. The next day, King gives the girl an official engagement ring, but she returns it, informing him that she's not ready to get married. King assumes he was just in a hurry and hugs Talib, promising not to pressure her. At this time, They are seen by Tenten, who misunderstands the situation and leaves. A little later, it starts raining heavily and Talib notices a guy sitting outside the restaurant. He admits that he wanted to talk to her, but realizes it's too late. Having finally confessed his love, Tenten decides to kiss the girl, but she takes a step back. Tenten admits that he acted stupidly towards her and hurt Talib for nothing, but she pushes the guy away again with tears in her eyes. He asks for a chance, but the girl is afraid to do it because she does not want Tenten to hurt her again. Eventually, Talib walks away, leaving the guy in the rain. He realizes that he deserves to be rejected by the girl he loves for all the suffering she has endured. Upon returning home, the girl cries as she has made a decision she didn't really want. At the same time, she realizes that she did the right thing as she rejected the guy who didn't appreciate her treatment of him. The next day, Tenten meets King and confesses that she is jealous of him, not realizing that Talib actually rejected her friend because she feels nothing for him. At the end of the conversation, Tenten gives King a painting he bought for the couple to congratulate them on their engagement. Tenten wishes the couple happiness, but King gets angry and, grabbing the guy, yells at him. He demands an explanation as to why Talib doesn't appreciate his love for her and chooses the guy who hurt her. After learning the whole truth, Tenten thanks King for hearing it and goes in search of the girl. A little later, he finds her in the park and gives her back a letter he wrote when he was a little boy. They had been friends and socialized as children, but Talib had forgotten about it. He realizes that he should have given the letter back as soon as he got letters from her, but he was too scared. After reading the boyfriend's letter aloud, Talib realizes that it is a love letter that he didn't dare give to her as a child. Afterward, Tenten confesses that he was happy when fate brought them back together at school, but he didn't have the courage to confess his feelings right away. Interrupting Tenten's monologue, Talib declares that she is ready to give him a chance, and this makes the guy smile, after which the couple embraces. Back at the parents' house, Talib and Tenten admit that they are in love with each other. The guy's parents are happy and think they are a good couple, so they don't mind their relationship. After that, Tenten decides to talk to the girl's father to get his blessing. Upon meeting the man, Tenten gets on his knees and asks for forgiveness for making his daughter suffer. After receiving his forgiveness, Tenten says he wants to date the girl and asks her father's permission. He is okay with their engagement as he knows that Talib loves the guy and wants to be with him. A little later, the couple meet but notices Nana sitting nearby, looking for Tenten. Talib decides not to interfere with the conversation, and Tenten admits that he loves the girl and wants to be with her. Nana is upset by this and declares that she needs to go on a trip to forget about it, so she won't be able to help his father in business. Disappointed with the guy, Nana leaves with a broken heart and Tenten doesn't say anything to her, realizing that it doesn't make sense anymore. A month later, the couple has an engagement party where they swear their love for each other. Tenten apologizes for the misunderstanding between them and for making the girl suffer. After exchanging rings, the couple kiss and promise to be with each other for the rest of their lives. Upon learning of the engagement, Kane is sad, but wishes the girl happiness. In the evening, Talib and Tenten go on a hike, where the guy wonders where the girl would like to go on her honeymoon. She is ready to go anywhere in the world. The main thing is that her beloved will be by her side. Realizing that they have finally found happiness, Tenten kisses the girl on the forehead, after which the couple kisses.